Happy Halloween, fellow viewers. I am going to be covering this year's Halloween manga special by talking about a super spooky story, a very hidden gem of a spook that everybody seems to overlook nowadays. I am talking about none other than Cowa. Yes, you heard me right, Cowa, by the all-knowing Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball, Sandland, the one who does the art for Chrono Trigger, Dragon Quest. He is the man that created this very sweet one-shot called Cowa. I mean, in reality, it's more cute than actually scary. Last year I covered Uzumaki by Junji Ito, which was actually a pretty spooky manga in my opinion. Gave me chills, not really scary, it's just like gave me chills the entire time and I felt a little creeped out by it. But this time I'm going to cover a less scary manga, Cowa. It is about two pairs of friends, well, three pairs of friends, one of them's a rival, main character being Paifu, which is a half vampire, half koala, were-koala. It sounds weird, but it's actually well implemented into the story, foreshadowing wise at least. And his best friend Jose Rodriguez, which is a ghost. As you can see here, you can see who the ghost is and who the half vampire is. So Paifu and Jose pretty much just do ordinary kid stuff. They play tag, angel tag in this sense. They play pranks, they steal, they're mean because they're monsters. He clarifies that there were monsters were bad and they don't really like anything good. But one day, okay, wait, no, I'm not gonna really summarize it. This is just something that like you guys should read, and if you have, then I'm just gonna go ahead and give you my thoughts. So you have Paifu, Jose, Mr. Maruyama, which is an ex-pro wrestler called the Volcano, and he's the only human in the village where the monsters live, and he's apparently the scariest one there, because he apparently killed someone during one of his matches as a wrestler, that's why he stopped wrestling and he moved to a remote village. The three of them go on unexpectedly go on pretty much a journey to get medicine for the monster flu, which has plagued pretty much their entire town except the doctor. The monster flu kills the monsters within a month, so within the first couple of chapters you're just given this like innocent kids playing sort of vibes, like, oh, this is just a fun little kiddie adventure, but then it turns into like a little more serious with this whole monster flu thing, and with them introducing the Paifu being a were-koala, which I still think it's kind of funny. He like kind of turns Goku Great Ape style as a kid when he sees the moon, but instead it's whenever he sees crosses, crosses, it really gets Paifu going. He turns into a were-koala and goes nuts, and he has to see something round to go back, which I guess is a little reference to the moon being the cause of it, which we can reverse it in this case, but it plays into some major cases, and I think it's kind of predictable. Okay, so overall I think the story is actually pretty cute. It's adorable. Of course it's not scary, it's just a fun little kid-friendly, spooky, well, not really kid-friendly, because there's like drunk acts, there's like smoking, acts of killing, so I guess like age 10 or whatever, but it's an almost kid-friendly spooky adventure of wholesome tale of humans and monsters getting along around this trip, and a whole bunch of cute little references of other series and such. But anyway, these monsters and the human go to a mountain, and at the mountain they have to meet this witch who will provide them with the medicine. And that part I think was actually it's actually one of the best parts, because it just reminds me of Dragon Ball. Just this illusion of being like in this grand adventure, even though it's just one volume. It fills you with so much like adventure and wholesome interaction between the characters. There's some great character development between the wrestler Maruyama and Paifu, the main character, as they like grow closer. And there's some like obvious references, like for example, Demon King Deborah being a very obvious depiction of just a character at the top of the mountain. And at the end, I think it's a good read. It consists of 14 chapters, or frights, they call them frights. It's adorable, I know. But yeah, and it's just each chapter is just filled with like a little lesson that you learn, like, you know, because it's like I said, it's an almost kiddie manga, so you pretty much have to have those kind of things in a kiddie manga. And I just think it's, like I said before, wholesome, and it's just a good read. I've had it for like 3 years as of this video, back in 2015, and I immediately felt like this wasn't really known. I looked it up, and it's just not really that much about it. It's one of Akira Toriyama's just overlooked works. And I guess that tends to be the case with his one-shots, like Sandland. I also own Sandland over at my shelf, which is, I think, in my opinion, a better one-shot, because it like fits my taste more, because, you know, of course this is kind of out of like my demographic, and it's pretty obvious, but I still think it's a pretty cute, spooky story. And so I guess thanks Viz for at least having that available for me to be able to buy this many years ago. It's a very great manga. It's cheap, you can find it anywhere, and I really recommend you guys to get it. It's pretty good. It doesn't really take you long since it's just one volume. It kind of makes me think that it should have been a whole series. If you guys have read it, tell me if you guys think that it could be like a good series. Not really that long. Just like, I can see it just being like max 10 volumes. Just like the misadventures of Paifu and Maruyama and Jose just doing monster things and that sort of thing. But anyway, so I guess that means I give it like an 8. I give it like an 8 out of 10. I think it's great. It's really great. And you guys should read it too. So that's all I really have to say about it. Those are my thoughts, my my review. It's a great story. You guys should read it. Here it is again, one last time for y'all. The art style is simple, not that complicated, because it's trying to depict a cute story, so it has a cute art style, which matches very well. And it's very clean looking too. But those are my thoughts on the one-shot Cowa by Akira Toriyama, and that is my Halloween manga review. Didn't really touch up on too much because it just really wasn't much to say. It's just point A to point B the whole time, just one end to the other. So I just basically hit up on some points that really highlighted to me, like the monster in the forest. I thought that was actually a pretty cool thing too. His simplified dialogue just really helped his character. His kind of Luffy-esque abilities, like he's all rubber, so he's like pretty much impossible to beat with just regular guns. That was showcased. Don't know if that was a reference or not, but I think so. There's like a whole bunch of references in here. And the thing is, this was written like way back in like 1997, I think, although it was published here in 2008. But so it's actually quite old by now, and I think it still has aged well. It's still a very good read for kids and teens to be able to get a good read out of it, like half hour or so, a good time killer, and a good Halloween read. So yeah, those are my thoughts, my review on Cowa. If you liked my thoughts, if you liked this Halloween manga special, go ahead and like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and also subscribe to my Twitter so you can get a whole bunch of just me tweeting about nothing, I guess. But that's all, folks. Thanks for listening to my nonsense, and I'll spook you next time.